When the weight of sorrow becomes a shared identity, communities find strength in raising their voices. In Benue State, women from Apa local government area have protested peacefully in Ugbokpo, expressing deep concern over repeated attacks by suspected armed herdsmen. They said the violent incidents are creating a community increasingly made up of widows. The women called on the government and security agencies to intervene urgently, warning that the ongoing insecurity is devastating families, disrupting farming, and forcing residents to flee their homes. I mean, Benue State women, they're saying that, hey, these killer herdsmen, they are turning their community into a community of widows. This is sad, Tunde.
Well, it is sad because we're afraid to do what we are supposed to do. When you look at the insurgents of banditry in Nigeria, the thing started from Benue State, where they were complaining about it. After Benue State, it moved to Zamfara State because of the gold there. After Zamfara State, it moved to Plateau State. Now, from Plateau State, they have now moved to Benue State. All this thing has ethnic, religious connotations. Okay. And we can easily identify the source of all these things, economic and a lot of deprivation. It is economic and deprivation. So if so far government refused to nip the one in Benue State in the bud, it moved to Zamfara State where there's a lot of gold there and people just have their own armed bandits who can take over. Now, people who don't have much ammunition, they move into farms. Like what they are doing in Plateau State, started killing people. That one is ethnic, the Biroms and others who came, wanted to seize their land. They started killing people. Now, the Benue State people have been reacting. They have been protesting since. And now, the battle has shifted to Benue State. So I think the government has to actually look at these 4 flashpoint states. These are the 4 states in Nigeria.
I mean, 100 lives in 1 week.
In 1 week. Government has to do something about these flashpoint states. These states are the ones that are really incubating all these terrorists. Government has to do something, and we have to classify them as not even bandits. I think they are terrorists.
Terrorists?
When they are terrorists, we have to deal with them like they deal with terrorists all over the place. For instance, now you are talking of inflation in Nigeria. We are talking of food scarcity. These are the things that will cause inflation.
Absolutely.
These are the things that will cause food inflation. When people cannot go to farm, people in Benue State, they are farmers. They are physical farmers. I have known them since when I was like this. They plant yam and some other things. When you cannot go to farm, how do you expect that the price of food will remain the same? If there is economy, the value of the naira is falling, and people cannot eat, what do you expect? So the problem is that when people cannot farm, these people are basically farmers.
Absolutely.
And when they cannot go to farm,
There's
you can know the consequence there. So I think government has to do something about these 4 states.
Now, the Benue State women, they're saying it's turning them into a community of widows. But we also heard yesterday that the Chief of Army Staff relocated there. I mean, what impact will this be? Or do you think it's just window dressing?
Yes, Chief of Army Staff relocating there is very good. It will achieve 2 things. One, it will increase the morale of the soldiers. Okay. When the Chief of Army Staff is with you and leading from the front, it inspires the soldiers to be able to do more. And secondly, because your Patapata is on ground, you'll be able to see firsthand things that are needed and they'll be able to take some decisions. But we have to look at the root cause of this problem. These Fulani herdsmen, most of them are not Nigerians.
Yeah, the Benue State governor said
the problem that is happening in the Sahel region, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, Libya, in Niger, the Fulani people in these regions are having problems. The kind of problems that we're having here, they're having it in those places. And because there is a lot of problems, and government is putting so much pressure on them, a lot of them have migrated. And they find solace in Nigeria. So in moving into Nigeria, a lot of them wants to settle in different places. And then they want to continue to do what they are doing. Okay. Because they are herdsmen principally. So there was this conflict between their cattle roaming around and the indigenous farmers that are there. And in the course of that, there will always be problems. So what we are having now is just attack and counter-attack. Okay. The farmers who do not like the fact that these cows
approach on their
farms and they are destroying their farms will attack the people that are doing that. Then the Fulani herdsmen will come back and do reprisal attacks. So it is important for us to know that one of the things that I think government should do is that they must stop this back and forth of people attacking and doing counter-attacking. And one of the reasons they can do that is that there must be a law. There must be a law that you cannot roam your cattle in that state. There was a law before, but I don't know.
The anti-grazing law, but I don't know if the governor has actually assented to it.
No, it was done under autumn.
Then why have they not started implementing it?
I don't know why it's not being implemented, because during the time of autumn, it was a law.
Implementation of the law.
It was a law. So it is important that we must stop people doing open grazing. They must find a way. We must do ranching. Each government, both federal government and the state, must invest a lot of money in ranching so that people can take care of their cattle within a particular area instead of open grazing.
Okay.
So that is number one. When we do that, we will stop these people from having problems with the farmers. And we'll be able to solve that problem, because part of the problem is attack and counter-attacks. Because most of these deaths that we are talking about are reprisal attacks. They will have killed some people, because there are also local militias in these places who are also killing Fulani herdsmen.
Yes.
We have to be serious with ourselves. There are local militias that are killing Fulani herdsmen because they will believe that, oh, these people can just come and then destroy our farms, our crops, and our means of livelihood. So they also attack. And then these people, they will now call most of these most of these itinerary people that come from all these Sahel regions are basically, they've been involved in this one war or the other. And you know, because of their access to Libya, they have a lot of weapons that they get from Libya. So they will come and do their... So to solve that problem, it is important for us to be able to first separate them.
Okay. And deal with both decisively.
So let us do ranching. Let us have a law that you cannot do open grazing. So there won't be need for your cattle to go and destroy
into another person's
farms that the farmers will now want to attack, and you want to do reprisal attacks.
Okay. I mean, this issue is like a recurring decimal. So talk to me, what kind of strategy will you recommend, I mean, to address
I think
this issue?
You know, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke of establishing forest rangers in all the 774 local government area of the state. Because this thing is a combined issue of banditry and Fulani herdsmen disturbing people. So when you have forest rangers, when we were very young, we used to have them, they call them Ashogbo forest guards. They are the ones guiding all those forests. And these people, their base of operation is in the forest, in all parts of Nigeria. Sambisa forest alone occupies about 7 local governments in 7 states in Nigeria. 7 states in Nigeria. You can imagine the amount of ammunition that will be. Like he said, the Sahel region now, because of the conflict in Libya, ammunition is now very cheap to get. So for these Fulani people, for these bandits, they get ammunition cheaply. And when they get it cheaply, the only country that they can come to is Nigeria. So when we have forest borders? If all the local governments in Nigeria has forest guards, depending on your capacity and the size of the local government, I think government should not just say 10,000. No. If a local government in Borno State needs 5,000 forest guards, let them give it to them.
So you think with forest guards, we can actually...
that will be there all the time, you can reduce the impact of the bandits. Forest guard, let government implement that thing. And besides forest guard, look, a state can only protect itself by its own people. Let us implement state police.
All right, we have Maxwell calling in from Jalingo. Maxwell, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, gentlemen, for the wonderful conversation. I just want to comment on the killer herdsmen issue. And I'm happy that you've all touched on what the main issue is in terms of reprisals and all that. But I still want to go to one fundamental thing. We've been complaining about our agencies, the police, the army, the immigration, not having enough hands to support the security apparatus in the country. Coming in of this government, the thinking was that we're going to up the numbers in terms of the people we have in the police, the army, and all to support all this. I think if there's synergy at the borders, if all our security agencies are working the way they should work, these problems will not be there in the first place. So what I'm simply saying is that the government needs to look deeper. And honestly, for the Fulani headsmen, like you said, there's no voice for them in terms of the reprisals and what's happening to their own men too that are being killed. But it's something the government has to take seriously.
Thank you.
And see with
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I mean, he made a very serious point. We keep talking about the army. Where is the police in all of this? I mean, they are in charge of internal security.
Yes.
Where are they?
They are with VIPs. They are with VIPs.
I like that point.
That's where the police are. Because you see, part of the problem is that we don't have enough policemen when you look at the ratio to the citizens. And then majority of them are with VIPs. Anybody that could make money or have influence in Nigeria has police escort. So those who are supposed to provide security for the Nigerian people are protecting the elites. So that's part of the problem. Because the soldiers, basically the soldiers are not supposed to be the ones doing internal security.
Exactly.
It's just because our police couldn't cope. That's why we have it. So, and even our soldiers are overstretched. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And that is why they are not as effective as they should be. So I think that we can solve that problem with state police. I've always advocated. I don't know. There was a time that the president met with governors, and they seem to agree that there should be state police.
Yes, the northern governors.
But the level has died down. We have not had anything since. I think it shouldn't take this long because every crime is local. Every crime is local. And there's no way you can understand the terrain like people were there. They were born there. They know the people there. And that is why if you see that if there's a crime in any place, it's easier for police to bust it. It's not magic. Because there are some people within that community that are very close to those who commit crime. They know who is doing what. You cannot come to a community and commit crime if you don't have somebody that's going to show you the way there. So it's easy for the police to go and meet those people and ask questions. Who are the people that did this thing yesterday? And they will say, oh, it's these people. They are in this place. They are in that place. So when we have state police, that will be able to reduce the kind of problem we are having.
Absolutely.
The pressure on the Nigerian military will go down.
Exactly.
And then there will be more men on ground to be able to do the job the police are trained to do.
Mayor said they are with VIPs. I mean, okay. We have Austin calling in from Manchester. Austin, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Let's talk.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm saying, well, I should support the gentleman as he has spoken because the leaders of the herdsmen, the government needs to go after the leaders of the herdsmen because there are the politicians, the ex-military men, they are the owners of the cattle. The government should go after these people because the killing every day in Benue and the killing every day in Jos is so alarming. We cannot continue with this, because these Fulani herdsmen, they are destroying the crops, and that is why the price of crops are skyrocketing every day in Nigeria. So the government should go after the owners of these herdsmen. By the time the government go after them, and the same treatment meted on the herdsmen, if the government made the same treatment on the owner, I think there should be solutions.
All right, then. Thank you very much. I mean, rounding this up, I said, where's the police? Where are they? And also the intelligence, DSS. I thought they said they are all over. Just in 1 minute, please.
We will know that you can recollect that during the Second Republic, the Nigerian police was very effective. They were actually doing the job of internal policing. But when the military came in, the military reduced their capacity, destroyed the Nigerian police force. They destroyed their capacity. So the only thing we can do now is that if we are to make sure that the police is effective, let all the 36 state governments in Nigeria be bold enough to, after all of them now have militia. The money they are spending on militia, let them spend it on state police with appropriate laws passed by the National Assembly, by the National Assembly to limit the operations of the Nigerian state police force.
Okay. All right, then.